now on to part 28, which is the body post and battery holders. And they go on like this, it seems to be. Let's double check. Or is it the inner ones? It's the inner ones. Now, what you have to do is use, of course, a screw and a washer to hold the mount on. Now, the thing is, here's the first one. I'd say take it tight and then loosen off a bit. There we go. And this is so you can get the battery in. Now, my mind works, as you know, in strange ways sometimes. The way I look at it is, now the other side opens as well. But why? Why do you need two sides opening? And that's what I can't quite get my head around. Why would you make both sides open? And then the design of the car, you use giant cable ties to secure the battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to use one cable tie, because I think all I need to do is go in the screw. There's always a spare little one, and literally put a screw in there. Can you see? Won't hurt the car, won't make any difference. And now, as you know, the ESC is going to be, well, the battery connector is going to be this side. You put it through the thing, you put it over, and then use a cable tie, and that's all I'm going to do. I can't see any point in doing both sides. Like I said, makes it much easier, in my opinion. You don't have to follow what I do, I'll always say that, but I can't see the point of having both sides opening where the battery connector is this side. And there's a limitation how tight you can go with that one. Right, and the other part is body posts, which is nice. They are of a softer plastic, and they go at these two holes at the back. Get them in the right place. Wind them up. You can't see that, can you? And then they say the hole has to be crossways, so just give it a, put the spanner on and tweak it until it shows across, and then repeat with the other one. Let's change the angle a bit. Don't do what I've just done. You know, sometimes it's hard when you have the camera on one side to show what you want to show. There we go. See where the hole is, slight tweak again, and they're perfectly lined up, and that completes stage 28. Now stage 29 is turnbuckles. I'm not going to bore you too much on them, but you've got to wind them on in the right direction. Yeah, this white side is a reverse thread. Just wind them on so far, and then this side will be the correct direction. Hopefully, yeah. The good thing is these are great to adjust when they're on. So it says we want one at 14 gap and one at 18. So I'm going to use calipers. Set them to near as 18mm, and then work out how much they've got to go in. And keep them even. The thing with turnbuckles, you want to keep an even amount of thread so they're easier to adjust later on. And as I think I've got more thread on this side, I'll stick another 2 on here. Oh. Might be because I was winding that one out. There we go. That's set at 18, but it's easier when on the car, because now when you wind the nut, it either goes out or go inwards. So I'll make a second 18 and make the other one, but I'm not going to bore you with the fact of making these because it's the same as what I've just done. Now we're on to 30, and we've got 2 B7s. One just has a ball joint on the end and the other one has 2. So first of all I'm going to put the ball in, one of them, and that goes from underneath. Yep. Don't go mad because this is quite soft plastic. And then we've got to use a nut in the end of here, and we put a brass ball joint. Tweak that up like so, and this, like I said, the other one is just a brass ball joint. Now I recommend fitting the 2 matching turnbuckles. Now I'm going to lay them like so, and it shows the nut is inwards. Oh sorry, yeah, the nut here on the thing is further inwards on this one. find this is definitely the better time to do it. And on the other side the nut is further away, so this means you'll know that you turn them both in the same direction. If I can get it going. So they're ready. You need the link bar, 2 flange tubes, 2 bolts, 2 washers, so 2 flange nuts. So it bolts from the inside, so I would recommend putting them on and attempt dropping them through. So which way up? The ball up and the bar from underneath. That makes sense. It's a snug fit. And then get it in the right orientation. So it's like this. You've got, I was right the first time, I've spun it the wrong way. You have the ball on the left and just lay it on. No, I was right the first time. Spin it around and flip it the other way. So the ball is on top for linking the steering. Then take a flange tube, push that from underneath, screw, flange tube, screw, screw, flange tube. And then I'm going to use a spanner to get this on. So you've got to get down inside. Just take it till it touches, and then you can just finish it off with a screwdriver. I'm going to fit this before I screw it on the steering link one, which is the shorter one. Double check. And this one we need to put the nut part towards the servo. And I'm going to do this one as well. There we go. Then put it out of position so you can slide the bushing in, flange bush. Drop the screw in and then use a, if you've got a nut wrench, use the nut wrench, makes life easy. Because you can literally just put it up right inside till it touches, and then tighten them up from the outside. You should be able to give them a good tweak because it all sits on there. Now, considering I put the servo in its centre position, the steering is out of line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it back in and see if I can adjust it out without having to turn the turnbuckle, or does it make it worse? Don't do what I've just done, forget to plug the battery in again. There here we go. Yeah, I was right, it does. Yeah, I'm going to look from underneath and that's near dead centre, I can get it. So in fact I've turned the servo off to centralise it, but I'm happy with that because I know this servo is probably going to have too much throw for the steer rod ends. So the good thing is, as you know, these radios now we can adjust the endpoints. So that does complete stage 30. Now stage 31 is fitting the gearbox on. This slots in the back like so. Being truthful, it's a tight fit. There we go, we've got it in the first bit. There we go. Get it into place and start fitting the 6 screws there is. I'm only going to go halfway so it helps line up, or pull it into the right place. And there's one down here, this side. The great thing about this design of chassis, it's simple for dropping off a gearbox to work on it. But it seems like on some cars of modern ones they've made them harder to work on. You know, to get to anything. And then just work your way in reverse, doing them up. Don't go over tight, just go until they stop. That completes stage 31. Now we're on to section 32, fitting the front gearbox. This is part of the reason why I haven't done anything yet, to see where I can put things. You know, like less haste, more speed sometimes. So they recommend greasing, but again I'm not going with it. It goes in the drive cup at the back. I don't know if you can see that. And then we proceed with slipping it into the front cup there. Get it in the right orientation and drop it down. And then this time it's only 4 screws. The second one's hidden here. and then just tighten them all up. And that completes 32. There is wire tied in below, as you know. I'm not rushing into that. And I've got to think how I'm going to do the next part. Now section 33 is fitting the bumper, clicking on the steering joints. So I think I'll click the steering joints first, get that done. Just use a good set of pliers. Now I'm going to have a look at it, and I can tell you what, that seems pretty good as is. Don't need adjustment or anything, just need a slight tweak on the system. So now for super flexi, there's 2 self-tapping screws in the rear. There we go. And then we've got a couple of nuts from underneath. Well, sorry, a couple of bolts from underneath and a flange nut on top. So it's hard to show this. But there you go, it fits into the chassis like that. And repeat with the other one. And there we go, the front bumper's on, and we're going to talk about section 34, bypassing it completely for now, because that's going to be done with the body, and putting the battery in and the thing, I'll leave that till later on. I know it's off slightly, so I'm going to bypass part 37 as well, because it's just putting the tyres on, and then we're going to go to fitting the wheels. Now on to section 38, which is putting the wheels on, where you use these triangular things to hold the wheels on, not like the hexes we are used to. But it's the same. There's the tyres, really hard to get on, really tight fit. But one thing I'll say, really, they feel a little bit sticky for Tamiya tyres. Normally Tamiya tyres are not quite as sticky. The thing is I recommend is looking behind, make sure you have lined up nicely before you tighten up. So I'm trying to get enough light to tell. They look correct, that's the important thing. But be careful, you do not really want to get them in the wrong place. This might be the better way of doing it. Let's upend it onto its side. Put it on, and then you can feel it plop actually onto the pins. These triangle things, you can break them, but they do alloy ones now you can buy aftermarket, and if you break them, that's the way to go, is put the alloy ones on. That just doesn't feel right at all, so be careful. I said this could happen, didn't I? I think that, let's try that. Hopefully we've got it right this time. Yep, the difference is you can see the stub axle at the end of the nut. Probably easier this side because it's not going to rotate in the same way. And there we go, we have completed the Thundershot chassis. Sorry, Thundershot, what am I saying? Thunder Dragon. The only thing I've done is, hopefully the weight of the battery changes it, how it handles, because the suspension is quite stiff. So here we are at the stage of the body. Let's get it out. There we go, pre-painted. Really nice. I expect we've got to peel it by the look of it, but I can't find a start point. There we go. Well, that come off really nice. There we go. Just got to work out the decal sheet, which should be these here. So I'm going to get on with that and we'll see it when it's all done. All the decals are applied, looking really good. So just got to go on to the chassis. Now this has taken me over a week to decide what to do with the inner cover and the on-off switch. The ESC you can see there, the wires are quite short, so I've had to cut, get it more in picture. I cut a bit more out here so it just sits out the back, because through the side doesn't work. The other problem was the on-off switch. what to do with it. So in the end I've cut a slot out the side and fitted it back on the ESC. I can put a finger in and get to it. So I'm happy at that. So all we've got to do is paint up, put the head on, and we're just about done. Now the final bits are going on. There's the driver figure. Not too bad. One of the hardest to paint with that secondary bit inside the helmet around the eyes. I'm quite pleased with it. One screw. And there we go. Like I said, it's not perfect, the design, but at least I can turn it on and off. And then we've got the body. And there you go, you can see the driver in there really good. And that completes it. Just got to find some, well, I put the body pin back somewhere. But I'll take some high definition pictures as usual, and the next time you'll see it will be out on the trails.